There's a tree by the road I take, just past the corner store. I've walked this way for years, maybe longer than I think. When I was small, it sat behind the fence, or maybe the fence was taller, I don't really remember. I pass it on my way to work, on my way back home. Most days I don't look up, most days I just keep going. Then this afternoon, waiting for the light to change, I looked over for a second, and something felt different. The tree got bigger, that's all it was. Nothing happened, nothing changed, but somehow it stood there like I'd never seen it before. The tree got bigger, and I guess I did too. I remember carrying a backpack that felt heavier than it was. I remember running late, trying not to miss the bus. I remember rainy mornings, standing underneath the branches. Back then it covered almost nothing. Now it reaches over half the sidewalk. Funny how that happens. You see something every day until you stop seeing it at all. I try to think about when I started looking this way, but there wasn't a moment, there never is. The tree got bigger, that's all it was. No special reason, no lesson in it, just something that kept growing while I walked past every day. The tree got bigger, and I guess I did too. Some changes don't arrive all at once. They don't knock, they don't ask to be noticed. One day they're small enough to fit inside the background, then one afternoon they aren't. I wonder what else I stopped looking at. I wonder what else has been quietly changing. The tree got bigger, that's all it was. The same road, the same corner, the same walk I've always taken without thinking much about it. The tree got bigger, and somehow that was enough. Tomorrow I'll walk this way again, past the store, past the fence, past the bus stop, and I'll probably look up for a second longer than before, just to see it, just to make sure it was always there. There's a store on the way home, nothing special about it. A few drinks in the cooler, some snacks by the counter. I've probably walked past it more times than I could count. Most nights the sign is on, even when the street is empty, even when it's late. I never thought much about it, it was just part of the road. And last night I turned the corner, and something felt strange before I knew why. The sign was off, that's what it was. The sign was off, and the whole street looked different. The sign was off just when I slowed down anyway. The door was still there, the vending machine too, the bike rack, the posters on the window. Nothing seemed missing, nothing except that light. Funny how one thing disappears and suddenly you notice everything around it. Maybe they closed early, maybe someone forgot, maybe it'll be back tomorrow. I didn't stop to check. The sign was off, that's what it was. The sign was off and the whole street looked different. The sign was off, just one little light, but I slowed down anyway. I don't know the owner's name, never asked, never stayed longer than it took to pay. But some things become familiar without asking permission. You don't realize it until they're gone for a night. The sign was off, that's what it was. The sign was off and everything felt quieter. The sign was off, nothing dramatic, nothing to talk about. Still, I noticed. Tonight I walked by again. The light was back, same as always, but this time I looked at it for a second longer. I got on the bus the same way I always do. Same stop, same route. The driver nodded, a few people got off, a few people got on. I looked toward the back, toward the seat I usually take, the one by the window, the one I never think about until it's there. But someone was already sitting in it, just reading something on their phone, nothing unusual. So I kept walking a few rows farther and sat somewhere else. Not my usual seat, not today. Same bus, same road, but the window looked different. Not my usual seat. Still, I noticed. From this side, I could see the bakery first, the old apartment building second. Usually, it's the other way around. I never knew that the traffic lights felt closer. The turn near the river felt wider somehow. Funny what changes when you're looking from a different angle. Nothing happened, nobody spoke. The ride took the same amount of time. Not my usual seat, not today. Same bus, same road, but the window looked different. Not my usual seat. Not a big deal. Still, I noticed. I started wondering how many things stay the same only because I stand in the same place. Maybe there are parts of this city I've walked past for years without really seeing them. Maybe they're waiting on the other side of something small, like a sea. Like today, not my usual sea. Not today. The same stops came and went, the same people got off, The same announcements played, but something felt new, not my usual sea. That's all it was, and somehow that was enough. Tomorrow it'll probably be empty again, and I'll probably sit there without thinking, like always. But now I know the view from the other side. I got home a little later than I planned to. Dropped my keys into the same bowl by the door. Put my bag down, took off my shoes. Walked to the kitchen, filled the glass with water. Everything felt normal, the hallway, the table, the chair by the window. Nothing looked different. Then I looked at the clock. It said 2:17. I looked away, looked back again. Still 2:17. The clock stopped today, that's all it did. The clock stopped today, and somehow I kept staring at it. The clock stopped today, no warning, no sound, just standing there at 2:17. I couldn't remember the last time I actually looked at it. Not to check the time, really looked at it. It's been on that wall for years, maybe longer. I pass underneath it every single day, morning, evening, weekends. I guess I assumed it would keep going. The battery probably ran out, that's what happened. Nothing more than that. The clock stopped today, that's all it did. The clock stopped today, and somehow I kept staring at it. The clock stopped today, no warning, no sound, just standing there at 2:17. Funny how something can be there for so long that you stop noticing it. Then the moment it changes even a little, it becomes impossible to ignore. I started hearing things, the refrigerator humming, a car outside, someone walking upstairs. Maybe those sounds were always there. Maybe the clock was covering them up. The clock stopped today, nothing dramatic. Nobody called, nothing was wrong. The room was still the room, the night was still the night, but it felt different. The clock stopped today, and I noticed tomorrow I'll probably buy new batteries, put them in, hang it back up, and after a few days I probably won't notice it again, just the way it was before, ticking somewhere above my head.